and welcome to John's Drams, the channel where I, John, drink a dram, and today I'm actually going to be doing that. So let's get a whiskey poured. Not working tomorrow, it's fine. A nice big pour there. This whiskey probably needs no introduction, but it did do only 2 months ago. Such is the Nigella effect that Ralfy can have. It's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. I love something that's a bit niche. I love something that, you know, flies under the radar sometimes. This is Maclean's Nose. There's been a couple of opinions so far, and I'm hoping to wade bollock deep into the waters of begging for views? I don't know what this is. Do you know what? I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't. I ended up in the Beer Hive. It's not a pub, it's I've talked about it many times on this platform. I hate using that word. It's an off-licence that's nowhere near me, but periodically when I'm in that side of town, I will pop in. It's fantastic. Their core is beer. Craft beers from all over the place, and I've got some yummy little things to treat myself to. I'm not going to put it on here because nobody gives a shit about it, so I'm just going to have them for myself. Your loss. And he's also started getting into his whiskies, and on the back shelf he had this. I've got a few interesting things from there actually. He had some 11-year-old Edgedale Sauterne. We needed some from the pub, so we bought some from Raw My Whiskies, and it sold out almost immediately, so we bought the other bottle they still had, and that sold out almost immediately, and then one of my supervisors cried because she really likes Sauterne, and then, again, I just happened to be in there, and I was like, oh, can I get a VAT receipt for that? Thank you very much. And that sold out almost immediately as well, and now I think Master Malt has one bottle left, so, and that's it. Edgedale, if you're watching, Sauterne barrels, please. Just churn them out. Just keep knocking them out. But anyway, that's not best. So this was on the shelf in the Beer Hive, and I was like, oh fuck it, go on then. And I was like, well, I've got to monetise this now, haven't I, somehow? So if this video makes £6, then, you know, great. Maclean's Nose. What do we know about it that you probably don't already know? Well, I like it, so there you go. There's a bit of information that you're probably not privy to. It's a... I've got a bit of a Glendronach situation here. And I mean that in so much as... Remember when Glendronach were knocking out 18-year-olds that were actually like 23-year-olds and they were only charging twopence for it? Similar sort of a thing. Not quite the same, but, you know, not a million miles off. This is a very well-made blend. This is a blend that's been made with care and attention and intention, and then they're basically not charging anything extra for that. Could this be a wake-up call for the blended whiskey category? No. No, let's be real. It's not going to fucking happen. This could be the most stunning liquid on the planet, and they could only charge a tenner for it, and it still wouldn't make a blind bit of bloody difference, because that's how markets work, alas. So the Maclean's, it's a 70% malt to 30% grain. I don't have a great deal to say about the grain, but it's bottled by Adelphi, who own Ardnamurchan. There's a fair amount of Ardnamurchan content within here. In the same way that you've got White Heather is Glenallachie, or, you know, back in the day it used to be Aberlour when it was the deluxe stuff. There's an awful lot of noise that could be made about the nose. I nearly got that the wrong way round. It's a land formation, and also Maclean was involved in the making of this. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because you probably knew that already going in. There's a bit of... well, there's some words on the back, and using my degree, I shall read those words. There's a quote saying, although most of my work is devoted to malt whisky, my friends know that blended Scotch is my go-to dram. This blend has been rigorously assembled to have a West Coast character, with both a high malt content, 70%, and a high proportion of ex-sherry casks. I am proud to be part of it. And that's from Charles Maclean, What are the numbers? MBE. Oh, this is not numbers at all. Wow, that degree was worth it, wasn't it? So that's the bottle. That's the whiskey in the glass. In a Glenrother's glass, because we found these in the cellar whilst we were tidying up. I had a few nips of this already. I know that I like it. So there you go. If you've left some on the stove or something, then you can go and tend to that whilst I'm talking about the nose. Very brightly perfumed for me. Getting heather, moss, lavender, like potpourri lavender, like shoved your face in it and it's got that. You know, potpourri has its own particular quality. It's a floral perfume, and also there's like a must from the fact that you desiccated the fuck out of this bowl of flowers and then sprayed it with perfume. Potpourri is a very odd way of fragrancing your home. On second inspection, there's a little bit of lemon oil. It's a little bready, looks like sourdough. And there's a slight petrochemical component. Like if you're across the road from a petrol station, you're just like, oh yes. Loads of people love that smell. I never have. I suspect it's because I didn't grow up around a car. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't hate the smell, it just doesn't do anything for me. A little bit of white pepper. There's a stewed tea, like an Earl Grey in there. Floral, citrusy. And there's a solid amount of peat in the nose. If I was to characterise it as a nose, I'd say robust. It's well built. It's put together. It's well constructed. It's put together with purpose. And now, I just moved my neck too fast and my head nearly fell off. Ow! I'm 32 now. I can't keep up. I was going to the bank today. There's a Bank of Scotland. There's several Bank of Scotlands in Edinburgh. I elected to go to the new one in the St James Centre because it's open much later than the other ones. And I thought, right, well, I'm maybe pushing it to get into town for 5 now, so I'll go to that one because it's open till 8. I needed to put in some money, and I didn't want to use the pay-in machine because the queue was 10 miles long, and it was a few quid, let's put it that way. And so I flagged a woman down after I was in the queue for like 5 minutes, and I was like, well, this isn't doing anything, so I flagged her down. I was like, hey, can I just pay this in at a desk? And she's like, we don't have desks. And I was like, what? What do you mean you don't have to? You're a fucking bank. What do you mean you don't have to? I didn't swear at her because, therein lies madness. But apparently that's a new thing now. Bank of Scotland are trialling, basically the equivalent of Apple showrooms instead of actual banks. There's one down on George Street. It's a 7-minute walk away. If you peg it, it's 7 minutes away, so I had to do that. Now, I'm a fat motherfucker, and I don't run too well. The chub rub was truly extreme. I was nearly dead by the time. So, at 3 minutes to 5, this sweating mass bursts through the door, some insane person, and goes, I need to pay some money in. And all the staff had gathered at that point for kind of a closed down chat, and they were like, okay. So that was a scene today. Anyway, the point of that being I'm fat and old and knackered. Probably one of the youngest ones doing this, but hey ho. Right, I'm going to drink it now. I've dragged this out long enough. I'm going to drink it. Oh. Whilst it's still a relevant tasting note, Karamek, R.I.P. It's toffee, orange flower water. Not an unsubstantial amount of honey in that, like a... I don't want to say orange blossom twice, but it's what's coming through, so an orange blossom honey. Sainsbury's do a nice one, incidentally. I didn't just make that up, it is a thing. And it's really rather nice. Not sponsored by Sainsbury's, because, I mean, have you seen the wallpaper? This isn't the kind of decor that has money in it. There's elements of tar, sulphur, but they're being held back by the sweeter notes. There's Weetabix if you're just having it with milk and not, you know, chucking half a fruit salad on top of it. Or Greek yogurt or cottage cheese or whatever the bloody hell it is people do to Weetabix these days. I remember when you just had Weetabix with milk and that was a fine breakfast. God, I am getting old, aren't I? Jesus Christ. Oh! I have to manually move my legs now. I can't just do it because my... Whiskey. I'm dribbling as well. Who do I think I am? Jeff. There's a lovely rich cocoa dark chocolate component to this as well, just on sort of towards the finish. It's a beautiful, surprisingly complex blend. It's absolutely a sipping blend, like that was the intention that they stated going in, and it absolutely is. The grain is doing... it's not dragging it down at all. There's a little bit of heat towards the back, but it comes across as more of a chilly heat as opposed to a burn, if that makes sense. It's an integrated component rather than a distracting one. No plastic notes, which grain often gives to a whiskey. So that's nice to see, taste. The more I drink of it, the more spice is coming through. Black pepper, cumin. Ever so slight amount of nutmeg as well. The sweetness is becoming subdued as I drink it. And in its place you've got an interesting tarry, savoury note coming through. It's a thinker, and it's fantastic to see from a blend. It's a statement piece to say, hey, this is what blends can do. Is it my favourite whiskey in the world? No. No, it's not. It's probably not even particularly my taste. But, I mean, putting it up against other blended whiskies, I mean, good God. This is, you know, kicking spots off of them. And there's a fair few blends that I'm very, very partial to, you know. This is making me reevaluate some of my favourites. A little vegetal as well. Now that I'm just letting it kind of rest and the flavour is lingering, there's sort of a vegetal funk that stays with you. Not a bad thing. Right, let's put a bit of water in this. I had a teaspoon or something. What the bloody hell have I done with it? Oh shit, what have I done with it? There! Found it. Excuse me a moment. Oh. Just a little drop there. There we go. What to do? Oh, quite a big bloke for myself. I don't normally go this heavy. So, more of the fire and brimstone is coming through now that I've added water to it. There's much more smoke and peat coming through, which is fascinating because These are notes that in my previous dalliances with this whiskey I haven't really picked up on, to be honest. This is new. It might help that this is the first time I've had it in a Capisa glass. Maybe that's contributing. Glassware does make a difference. Yes, we can have that conversation another day. In fact, we had that conversation several years ago. There's a video kicking around somewhere. Oh, it's rich. It's a really rich bonfire aroma now. The sherry casks are really coming through. It's like the chest from 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo has been unlocked. If you've never watched that cartoon, I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, it's rich, oily, fruity. There's grapefruit skin in here. There's a little bit of camphor smoke. There's fucking soap bar, coal tar soap. That's what I'm thinking of. It's gamey. There's like a honey glazed gammon kind of a component to it. It's savoury. It's rich. I'm loving the smell of this now. I'm done telling you about it, by the way. I'm just enjoying it now. That's lovely. Also, if anyone's wondering if I'm, just bigging up this to suck Ralfy's dick, I suck enough dick in my personal life. I don't need to do it on YouTube as well. Don't worry about it. Which reminds me, I need to get that tooth seen too. Now then. It's fascinating how just a little bit of water can make a difference sometimes. Fuck-a-doodle-doo. Wow. Cornflake tart. With a little bit of liquid smoke added in. It's fruity, it's jammy, there's a golden syrup component, there's subtle corn sweetness. It's a little bit buttery, and then there's this lovely just lingering lick of smoke. The fruit components are coming through a little bit more. The chocolate's changed. It's not dark chocolate anymore, it's ruby chocolate. It's that much more kind of earthy, fruity chocolate. There's a little bit of, it's a little cabbagey. The vegetable component's coming more into its own now. I like cabbage, I know it's not everyone's thing, but I mean, don't have it for a first date, for Christ's sake, but there's a hot ginger coming through. The whiskey, not in the house. It's, again, white pepper. The orange is now grapefruit. There's a few other citrus notes in there, like lemon. It's a little bit lactic. Kind of like a very faint sort of Greek yogurt kind of twang. It's just barely registering under everything else, but it's there. Oh, and there's I almost want to say lettuce. There's just a fresh green note right at the back there. Oh, I've missed doing this. That's beautiful. I'm going to enjoy that later on. So I'd imagine I'll have much more to say about it that will transcend the runtime that is available on this SD card. Which reminds me, actually, seems fine. Have you tried the Maclean's nose? What do you think about it? Do you think I'm just, trying to score points? I might be. I could be a disingenuous little shit. Never said I wasn't. But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed that. Like I said, I've had a few drams of it before, but that's the best experience I've had with it so far. That's lovely. Yeah, let me know down below. Have you enjoyed the video? What do you think of, you know, all the new stuff flying around? If you hate it, be gentle. Yeah, thumb the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are wanting to. That's all I've got for you, really. And otherwise, I shall see you next time, where I will be drinking something else.